Oh, yeah. Oh, I
Toast.
It's perfectly green.
Ready? Just a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Please turn off your phones. Okay, call to order. Roll call.
I have Donna Mosier. Here. Eileen Dunn. Rick Agler.
Here.
Brent.
Here.
Barry Burgess.
Here.
Lemay Knifer.
Here.
Ed Weiner.
Here. Okay, proof of notice, John?
Yes, and as per your documents in Florida statute, notice was posted.
Okay, a motion would be made in order to dispossession of prior meeting minutes. There a motion?
Move to approve. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Motion would be in order to approve the treasurer's report.
Make a motion, we approve the treasurer's report as written. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Oh. Thank you.
Okay, manager report.
Okay, Ed, so we're still we've hit a pause button with the seawall for Pasco County permitting reasons, so that it's going to take a little longer to complete the project than we had hoped. The engineer and the contractor is currently working on that now, and Ed, you had asked me yesterday, they haven't submitted for it yet. They're still working on it. We did have a meeting on site. This is new since our last meeting. We did have a meeting on site with the engineer and the contractor, and we're hoping that the overall scope of the job has changed and been reduced a little bit. So maybe we'll see a little savings in that. So we might be looking at March now before it's completed. Later on, we have on the agenda, we have a concrete proposal for the tennis court side of to replace that bad area of the concrete and the sidewalk and the seawall. We've been looking into wind control for a footprint lake. The fitness equipment has been delivered and functioning, and all the service has been done on them. We had I don't know, is Dave here? Are you going to talk about the open house or anything? Had a great turnout for the open house yesterday. I'm sure everybody's pleased. We haven't been able to get a second quote for gate rollers in the RV lot. We've tried all the local companies, and nobody seems interested in bidding on that outside of the company that we usually use for service. We've got proposals again later on in the agenda to potentially convert the pool and the spot assault sanitization. Violations for the month are as follows. Total number of 79 for the month of December. Yeah, for December. Now those new were 27 and 28 were resolved.
Okay. Art committee?
Can I ask a question? You said, and I missed, which one you said we're looking at March now for what is that?
Seawall. Hopefully we have contractors on site by March, depending on the speed of Pasco County. I think when we get the permit approval, they're pretty responsive. We're probably less than a month out once the contractor gets the approval from Pasco County, but we're kind of at their mercy. I think we're probably less than a week away from the engineer handing everything over to the contractor, and then the contractor will probably take less than a week to get it to Pasco County. And
I think you're being very
I'm
optimistic.
trying.
Because when we were out there, I will tell the rest of you that I asked the gentleman who was representing the one who's doing the works, I asked him, well, how long does a permit usually take? And he said, we're working on one now for East Lake. It's been 5 months so far. So if that's held up, I would think it's that.
But we do have an ace. One of our residents does work for the county. She said she could help in that respect. Once it goes in. Okay, art committee, Ed.
Art committee, Ed Heber for the art committee. We have 20 that have been reviewed by the art committee and approved by the art committee for you to approve or disapprove as you say. We have one for your review.
I make a motion that we approve the 20 recommended to us by the art committee.
Second. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Carried. Okay, you want to tell us about the one that you'd like us to review?
One we have for review is a shed in the Driftwood development. To my understanding, I haven't seen it personally, but there is already a shed there at 1016. Therefore, our maximum size says 6 feet to 10 feet, 8 feet in height, and then it says size approval depends upon the lot size. So we couldn't approve any of that because we're not, that's your purview. It's kind of like after the fact that they have already had the shed there.
Barry, is that the one that we talked about?
Yes, and I would like to make a motion to deny that.
Can't hear.
Oh, sorry.
Yes, that's the one we talked about, and I would like to make a motion to deny that shed.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you, Ed. Okay, committee reports. Who wants to be first? Gary Beers.
Gary Beers, 5 votes. Everything's going fine. They're working on the fashion show. We now have a crew for the Kentucky Derby. We're looking for somebody to learn from Ron and Pat Weislich on how to do the thing properly. And the only thing we want to know is, can we use, like we have a meeting once a month on Tuesday, and we usually have music on Tuesday. We want to be able to have music on Monday in the parking lot. So we're seeking permission to have music on Monday when we have our meeting on Tuesday on the parking lot.
Do we need to make a motion for that?
I would, because you gave us permission to on Tuesday, so there's no question. We'll check with the office first to make sure that the office or you guys don't have anything going on. But, you know.
Then I make a motion that we allow music on the water on Monday nights on the during the month when social is on the Tuesday.
Yep.
That's the first
First
Monday of the
first
month.
Monday of the month.
With the exception would be if it's already being used.
Right.
Do we have a second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Approved.
Thank you very much.
Hi, Karen Fritsch with the Friends Helping Friends Committee. And I just wanted to let you know that we have a speaker coming in on February 6th. And these aren't all my notes. It's a poster I'm reading from. Anyway, and it's Dr., I think it's Mashar. And he's going to talk about blue zones. And it's a lunch and learn with a free lunch. And Monday at February 6th at 11:30 a.m. The committee is also getting somebody in for the next few months for estate planning, the AARP driver defensive driving, and also information on senior finances. So watch for those coming up, getting the date set.
Karen, what did you say the doctor was speaking on?
It's called the Blue Zones. It's ways to live longer, healthier, and happier lives. So just
We're gonna have to hold that outside so we can keep the crowd.
Yeah. So, anyway, I think it's looking at ways to live healthier, if that, in a nutshell. So, anyway, and I apologize I didn't put something in writing for you guys. It just we got this set up kind of last minute. So, okay.
Sounds great.
And we're going to have a sign-up sheet out in the lobby for it, and with a cutoff date of February 2nd at the end of the day, so that they know how many people to have lunch for.
And you checked with the office to make sure that,
Yeah, we got it all
Everything's
set up with the
available.
office too.
okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you, Karen. Fine.
Liz Goodman, Chairman, Fines and Suspension. On the 13th of January, we held hearings, violations approved at the 1221. We received 6 violations. One was corrected before it came to the committee. 2 violations were enforced. One of them is the person that you're talking about, I believe, and that was what it was, a 16 by 10. So we did, for the purpose of clarifying, we did find them. We did find that person for the fence. It was a confusing, but we finally got it straightened out. We talked to John afterwards and understood what the actual fine was for. So we had not accepted that.
For the shed?
Yeah,
what you're
this is
talking
the
about?
one that we just talked about in
Okay.
the, I'm saying to Barry, that was declined. It hit the fines committee, and it was declined. Okay. All right. Then we had 3 violations that were not enforced. One was for lawn, correction was made. One was for parking. We went on a weekend and a weekday, and there was no automobile, and there was nothing in the driveway. And then the third one was for replace a missing globe on, I guess, a light post, and we couldn't find the light post. And there was a flag thing up there that stood about like this, but, and maybe if we had been able to go up on the property, we might have been able to see it more clearly. And it may be there, it may not, but we didn't feel we could find them if we didn't see it.
House yesterday went really great. We had 27 people show up. They all seemed to have a lot of good questions. But a lot of them would like to have something else and, come back and do it, because there was too many to really see everything. I even tried to get them around to see it. So I would be more than happy to put a sign-up sheet and do, maybe in the afternoon one day and see how many people want to come back and learn a little bit more.
Okay.
Besides that, everything went really good. The guy was really very good.
I just wanted to tell you, Dave, I've heard so many good things about the fitness center and people are excited. And I know mean, I've been down to the pool in the evenings and all different hours, and people are really using it and very happy with what was done.
Yeah, I've seen a lot more people going there too.
I want to thank you and your committee for all the work you've done.
I want to thank the committee too.
Okay, any other committee reports? Okay, we'll move on to engineering services.
So, Ed, I'm expecting, previously we approved for, Nichols, the contractor that's going to be installing the new seawall. Previously, we approved a contract amount. The board should probably approve, we're expecting that to be revised and come back to us for a lesser amount. So we should probably give you the authority to sign that when it comes back to keep the ball rolling, you know? We don't have a dollar amount, but it's gotta be less than what was already approved.
If we make the motion with the maximum being what we've already been offered, if it comes in lower, then we won't have to have a second vote and it won't hold anything up.
I think we've already done that, really. Yeah, my mic. I think we have already done that. Well, Mike says it's on. I believe we've already done that, and that we approved it. And how significant are you expecting, like a $20,000 reduction or?
No, so what was approved, I think, was 29,000 change. It's still gonna be more than 20, probably, but it's just gonna be a different amount than what was approved.
All right, so what we would need now is a motion to accept the new contract as long as it's a lesser figure approved by management, maybe at least reviewed by our president, who's been very involved in this, and his vice president.
Okay, anybody want to make up that motion?
I so move.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
And the only thing else to add to that project is we've got a proposal from the concrete contractor to replace all of the bad concrete. And he actually wants to replace, there's two sidewalks, basically. The one's bad, the one's not bad. He's actually replacing from start to finish, from one end to the other, all of that stretch of concrete on the bad side for that price. And it's pretty good price.
Are you talking about the side where the tennis courts are?
Yeah, closest to the seawall, a third of it's collapsed. He wants to replace it from start.
Where we busted it up. Okay.
Could I have a
Yes,
cement question?
Sure.
Somewhere in there, in the last emails we got, there was an item about filling it with dirt someplace. And I questioned that, I think, at the time, I'm not sure of the answer, because, the last thing we want to do is put the stuff that washed out and caused our problem now, put some of that back in.
The contractor is bidding per the engineer specs.
Yeah, well, does our engineer's specs call for putting, I don't want to see this, I know I won't be alive when it happens.
are we also going to foam under the,
We're gonna foam under that as well, yeah.
so that would take care of the erosion problem.
Foam is good. I mean, even broken stone is good, but dirt will filter out with water, And I just think we need to be very careful, and I think you will be. But I just wanted to.
I'm trusting the engineer, Rick.
What's that?
I'm trusting the engineer.
Well, I think I don't think we can fully trust anybody on this, okay? I think we need to watch and see what they're doing, and if they start putting dirt in where, anywhere near those walls or anything else, that's just gonna cause something.
I don't know if you've noticed, but I've got a specially built saddle that I ride their shoulders when they're out there.
I noticed that you're at least out of the office. But yeah,
Okay.
But I just wanted to say, thank you.
All right, Lemay?
We, Ed and I went down, John, and we met with the engineer and contractor about this, and we were going to only, we had originally said to save money, which is stupid at this point, to save money on 2 slabs of concrete rather than complete the whole thing. But when you go out and you look at that, the entire sidewalk that was there, or concrete that was originally there, has lowered. You can see where it was originally. And our question too was, well, if we just put dirt there, is it going to stay? It will stay. That concrete foam that's being put in there will not move. This is just to fill in around that and give us a base for the concrete that is going in. So we questioned up and down all sides of this because, like I said, I have a tendency to not want to spend extra money if we don't have to. And I think after all the go around, it was decided that it would be best to fill in the whole thing and complete it the way it had been. No, the dirt is going under the concrete. It's going around the concrete. Dirt's not showing on the top. Is that what you're talking about, where we're putting the concrete?
I'm talking about under the cement that we had dirt, and that's what's washed out over a long period of time. But, and the people who did that job, the Timber Oaks folks who did it, and I don't know how many years ago, I don't think they ever expected that. And I don't want to duplicate what they did in any way at all. And I really thought that the foam was going to seep down in and do that. And we were making sure we filled it completely, that anything that be weight bearing at all would not be dirt, because dirt will disappear after a time.
But you're talking about you have to remember too, we have completely changed the drainage that was there. We had so much water running down there because drainage pipes had broken. They were not large enough to begin with. So that problem is gone. And the dirt that will be in will just fill in around this concrete foam. It's not going to wash out. All that area where the stones and the dirt was washing out will now be completed with the new foam that's being injected into there. To my knowledge, that is the way it's supposed to be. John, is that right?
Yeah, we wouldn't be talking about what we're backfilling with if the concrete didn't collapse. We would be satisfied with just foam. But because we have to pour new concrete to replace what's collapsed, we need a base to pour on. And the backfill.
You're saying you cannot pour concrete on top of foam?
No, what I'm saying is there's a void there now. We can't pour concrete on the void. The void's got to be filled before they can put the foam in.
I thought that's what the foam was to do, to fill the void.
We can fill the void with the foam, but we're going to pay a lot more for an entire void filled with foam than we are backfill material.
Well,
the foam isn't to support the concrete. The foam is to seal the holes.
I've sort of mentally been misled then in a way, because I thought the foam was to fill the void, so we didn't have any more of this dirt that would seep out and cause us future problems.
It's doing both.
As we notice, it's an expensive problem.
It's doing both. It fills the voids, but they're smaller voids, and it seals the holes.
I don't know. I'm not an engineer, and of course, none of us up here are.
That's why we depend on one.
And we need to talk to, I would like to make sure you've had that discussion with the engineer, that he puts down in writing that this will not in any way seep out, because, and problem is 10 years from now, when we find out it's in, well, he's not gonna be around.
But Rick, the other areas that we have.
Let's move on. This has been discussed. We've heard it twice. Rick has expressed his concerns. They are noted. They're in the minutes. As it stands,
We have an engineer. We're following the advice of the engineer at this point. We're going to move on.
We need a motion to go with this.
Okay, we're going to move on to Oh, we already did fines and suspension. Nope. Oh, yeah, we gotta do the new ones. Fines and suspension.
And you didn't approve the concrete proposal though.
Oh, I thought we approved that before.
No, this is new since our last meeting.
Okay, a motion would be in order to approve the concrete proposal. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Carried. Thank you.
Includes fill voids and compact with sand business.
You're out of order, Rick.
I'm telling you why I voted no.
We didn't ask.
Let's keep going.
Okay. Fines and suspensions.
I move to fund the owner of 8035 Pequeña Drive, $50 per day for decorations that are in violation of Texas covenants, up to $5,000.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Carried.
I move to fund the owner of 8639 Gold Pine Drive, $50 per day for parking that is in violation of Texas covenants, up to $5,000 a day.
All in favor, say
I
aye.
need a second.
Aye.
I need a Mr.
Did
President.
we have a second on that?
No, I need a second.
Somebody second it? Second. Brenda did.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
I move to find the owner of 11127 Island Pine Drive, $50 per day for lawn and landscaping that is in violation of Texas covenants, up to $5,000.
That's one.
I don't seem to have it either.
It's this
Here's Eileen.
Wait a minute. I got it. It was stuck to the back of the other one. Okay. You got it, Rick?
I'm looking at Eileen.
Right, lawn and landscaping? All, second? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
I move to find the owner of 8611 Woodcrest Drive, $50 per day for signs that are in violation of Texas covenants, up to $5,000.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
I move to find the owner of 8731 Wabash Lane, $50 per day for maintenance that is in violation of Texas covenants, up to $5,000.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
I move to find the owner of 11133 Water Oak Drive, $50 per day for lawn and landscaping that is in violation of Texas covenants, up to $5,000.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
That's the end.
Okay. County tax services. John, were you gonna address this?
I didn't know if Rick wanted to, but I'm happy to.
You wanna address this, Rick?
You want me to start and you can finish?
Okay, but I'll be short on the finish.
All right, so, this is in regards to the payment from Spectrum, the contractor or professional that does the annual audit for Timber Oaks would like to go to a more advanced tax preparer. He doesn't prepare the taxes for Timber Oaks. He subs that out. And he would like to, now that we're going to have to make these tax payments or whatever involved with the Spectrum payment, he wants to take it to a different tax preparer, and it's a slightly increased in their fee.
To finish out, I think what we're asking for now is to approve going to, because I think it was like a estimated $2,500 fee, and we were only paying about $600 or
I think it was
Small tax.
750.
$700. And what it is this individual does not get into these items, the one who's currently preparing. I also told John that we'd like to be involved because this individual who does not do the returns, but he buys this other guy, indicates quite a bit higher tax rates than what we expected. So it needs to be, we need to get into it right away, I think, with this person, and then go and have questions with this person and, find out exactly really where we are, find out what money we really will end up available to utilize.
So free money isn't free.
Can we check on finding someone else? That seems like an awful lot of money.
We can, all that I know is that the individual that does our audit is strongly recommending this individual, so. Evidently, he partners with people, and this is somebody that he partners with.
Does he get a kickback? Should we make a motion to approve up to 2,500?
Well, maybe the direction to the auditor would be, we would prefer someone cheaper, but a maximum amount up to that if we end up going with this guy. Just let them know that, try to negotiate a little bit.
Rick, comment, when you're dealing with professionals, cheaper isn't always better. I mean, you have a top guy in his law school class and you have a bottom guy. It's just like two people who graduate from medical school. What do you call the top guy and the bottom guy? Doctor. And, this person's been recommended by a person we've been utilizing, our auditor, and I wouldn't know where else to go for recommendations.
Thank you, Rick. Any other comments?
We've also gotten bids from people who were higher than others, and they were not necessarily the best either. I would just see if you could recommend anyone else. That's a lot of money. And it doesn't seem like it should be that hard.
Eileen,
I would
welcome.
agree- I would agree that we put out bids for everything else.
Can't hear you.
And here we go. That one doesn't work.
It's not working.
Because I had it. That's right.
Probably need to be.
We put out bids for everything else around here. We should check into maybe somebody else, just to see for comparison's sake.
Okay, any other comments?
Phone calls.
Okay, so a motion would be in order to, yeah, it's a one-time thing concerning the money that we got from Spectrum. We have to pay taxes on it, so we need the advice of the professionals. Sure.
Our management company at one time passed down to us, maybe you could spread this out over 10 years. And we've already got the payment. We've already got all the payment. I professionally don't, well, I can't say that. I've never heard that in the past where you do the deal this year and you get it done this year and you're paid this year. Meanwhile, you can spread the income out over, doesn't sound like the way, and we need to get this checked out because we
But
need
it's
to
a
know
10-year
what's available.
contract. All right, so what do you want to do? You want to make a motion?
For a maximum amount.
I make a motion that we hire a tax accountant to do the taxes on the Spectrum payment with a maximum payment of, was it $2,500?
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay. Election guidelines, election committee. May, did you want to address this?
I think this is the policy that has been enforced. I don't think anything has changed. Is that correct, Debbie? just the dates, right, the years. This is going on what we've had every year, so I don't see any reason to change it unless someone else does. I think we've used them forever. So I make a motion that we approve the, what is this called?
Election guidelines?
Thank you, election guidelines
And,
for 2023.
and
And the
we, advertise for a committee.
That's what they call for, right?
Exactly, that's in here, yeah, okay.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. We'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Debbie, we will have sign-up sheets. Debbie will post them outside. If anyone is interested in being on the committee, please sign up.
Okay, pool proposals. Possible conversion to salt generators?
So Ed, previously, maybe 2 years ago, I got some proposals for the same thing and they were significantly higher than, these are very reasonable to convert the spa and the pool to salt sanitization. I was excited to see, just like the concrete proposal, these are good prices.
You want to discuss about what the process is and that kind of thing?
Right, so
Why we want to do it?
So people misunderstand when you say you're converting to salt. We're not gonna have salt water in our pools. We're not pumping it from the Gulf. It's actually, we're chlorine based now, right? But also all chlorine products are sodium based. It's just turned from sodium to chlorine in some warehouse somewhere in Texas, right? So we're doing it on site now. We put salt in the pool. We've got little salt generators that look like, they look like if you go to a drive-through bank and you put your envelope in the thing, they look like that, right? And they convert the salt to chlorine and it sanitizes the pool. It reduces maintenance. It dramatically improves the sanitization and maintenance and cleaning. You don't have that bounce effect where, okay, the chlorine's down, let's add chlorine, okay, that just messed up our pH and our alkalinity. It improves that whole process and reduces the amount of chemicals that are needed and the bounce. You have a more regulated sanitization, less health hazard, all of those things. The only thing worth mentioning is the water becomes soft, right? So the water's gonna be, if you've got a salt system on your home and you know what it's like to take a shower, that's what you'll feel like when you get out of the pool.
Okay.
My husband and I had a pool up in Pennsylvania. Now, granted, we only ran it, 4 or 5 months out of the year, but we had the pool for a very long time, probably about 25 years when we were able to switch over to salt. Because at that time it was still very expensive to make that switch. I'm amazed at these prices and it makes a huge difference on your skin. It makes a huge difference on your bathing suits. It is much healthier for you than the other. So, I had asked John, could he check into it? And these are the prices. Well, actually, Ed and I had, but I was, like I said, I'm amazed that the prices come down this far. And I really think it's something that would be good for all of us to change over.
And another one of the reasons was the hot tub it's very difficult to control the pH in that. And this will really help solve that problem. Any other questions, Eileen?
Was there any research into what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what John was mentioning about the difference and the fact that you don't. Sorry, I'm usually loud enough that most people hear me anyway, but that's what John was saying about it reduces the amount of chemicals you're putting in there. It'll feel like like the water is soft because it actually is. So this is all known facts and the wear and tear on your bathing suit and the feel of it. So, yes, it is known. It is researched.
Wear and tear on our whole system then? Okay.
Don't we have two proposals, one for the spa and one for the pool? You want to say what they are?
So for the spa, they have to install one generator, a smaller, I'll say horsepower for lack of a better word. That total price for installation on that is $2,567. For the pool, they have to install three larger generators because of the volume of water. Total price installed for that is $9,041.
Can I make a motion?
Yes.
I would like to make a motion that we accept the quotes from Pool Medic to change the spa and the pool over to salt.
Is there any other discussion before I call for the vote?
Is this company our current provider for things? Thanks.
Any other discussion? John?
And just one note, it will not change the price, our contracted price of the weekly service. That will stay the same.
Good, because we like him coming and cleaning. Okay,
You have to shut down the pool to do this?
no.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, electrical panel replacement on the pool. John?
So Ed, we talked about this at the last meeting, and we kind of halfway approved it at the last meeting, and we got a quote. And again, I think I'm batting 100 right now because this proposal came in really good, and you guys approved it in between meetings by signature, so we're just making it official at the meeting today. But the price for this to replace the breakers in the spa box is materials and labor, $650. And to replace the entire box and all breakers and for the pool is $3,500.
Okay, and you want to explain why we want to do this?
So we've had problems with breakers and the age of the boxes and the breakers are loose and they're falling out and they're tripping easy and it's a maintenance headache and then it's hard to replace the old breakers. So we had a problem recently where the spa was shut down for several days because of this and just trying to make it safe for our workers when they're in there having to reset breakers and we're trying to keep from having future shutdowns.
I move we approve this.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Can I,
Opposed? Is there any discussion?
can I just say one thing? When we met with John about the proposals and what was said, John shared the fact that the breakers are so loose that when they kick, they come and get him because nobody wants to get thrown across the building when they get shocked resetting those circuits. So this absolutely is a necessity.
Mr. President,
Yes, Rick?
I have one question. We signed for an in-between emergency passage. Was that the same as this?
Yeah, we're just making it official in the minutes, that's all.
All right.
Same thing.
I just didn't want to if it's, okay, thank you.
Okay. Eileen?
Told me there were two panels.
There
Is
is.
this covering the both panels?
Yes.
It is. Yeah.
They're not replacing the full panel on the hot tub. They are replacing all the bad breakers as per the electrician who checked both of them out.
Okay. Correspondence, 8511 Elgin Drive. Benfigure?
Hi, I did send in the request respectfully. We have a group of residents from Timber Oaks going on a cruise, February 18th to the 25th. And there may be some vehicles that would have to be parked in the parking lot for that week. I was requesting that we have permission to park those cars on the tennis court side in the very last row for that period of time. I'm expecting it not to be in excess of 10 cars. We have made arrangements for people to pick people up and bring them so that we can limit the number of cars, because the bus will be leaving from here at 6 a.m. on the 18th of February and returning the afternoon of the 25th.
Okay. Any discussion? Is there enough parking?
Is there enough parking there for
Oh,
the rest?
there's only 10, I don't expect it to be more than 10 cars, and it should be in that last row past the tennis court. And these are all Timber Oaks residents, so.
I so move for Timber Oaks residents.
Have a second? Okay, all in favor of allowing the cruise people to use the parking lot for a week?
Only if I can sneak
Opposed? Anyone
somebody's
opposed?
bag.
Oh, okay.
I will say this, but I was kind of opposed to 15 because that seemed like a lot. So if you can keep it down as
Yeah.
much as possible, because there are times when that entire parking lot is pretty much filled. So that's the
Absolutely,
only.
and I do know there's a dance the night of the 18th, so that was one of my concerns as well. That's right. And most of them won't be at the dance, they'll be on the cruise. Thank you.
Okay, motion would be in order to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Wait, Ed?
Sure.
I would like to invite everybody back tonight for our sheriff's department. They will be here to answer any questions for any of the residents on issues like safety and stuff like that, any kind of questions you have. So please, let's give them a good turnout. It'll be here tonight at 6 o'clock.
Okay, we are adjourned. It's time for open forum, if anyone wants to bring something in open forum.
Someone said they didn't hear everything that was said. 6 o'clock tonight, the sheriff's department will be here, and they will be here for information to answer questions. This was set up by Donna. Thank you. So if anyone's interested, you have no idea what could come up, please attend. Have a good showing for them.
As a former assistant district attorney, if you have any outstanding warrants, come on in, he'll take you.
Well, like, I know there's a lot of residents that leave their garage doors open all day and then wonder why homeless people want to walk inside. Hello, so maybe there was residents one time that left, they were snowbirds, and they came home and found out somebody had broken their house and stole their car. So, it's just little things like that, that if you have any questions on how we can better keep ourselves safe.
Wow.
Thank you all for, wait.
Sorry, Dale Baldwin, 10602 Springwood Drive. Had you made a decision on the flags? Or was it tabled for last meeting?
Yeah, and they told us because we have to send out a notice when we make that change, if we make a change, that we can't just make the change, so right now it's on hold.
Okay, 'cause I was okay with the American flag, like you said, the POW, one of those.
Really, it's, the only issue I had was it's in the ARC guidelines. The ARC guidelines are for the placement of the pole, basically. It's, ARC guidelines don't need to tell you what flag you can fly, because that's in the rules.
Well, I
And we
I
weren't
know
gonna change that anyway.
there were questions come up the last meeting that, well, we want to put our team flags up there and all that. And I know that you said that the American flag went up top. And then nobody could decide what was underneath that, even though I don't have a flagpole. I was just, it was tabled.
We didn't change anything, so it still is by the Florida statutes, which is what we stood by before, which is an American flag on the top, and you are allowed any, is it a military or a government flag below that? That's it. So we will stay with that. POW, yes, anything.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay,
And you could fly the others on your house.
yeah. Yep. Okay. Nope.
I have to ask a question. 8621 Winding Wood Drive. Speaking of being healthy, we have a problem next door with a guy that chain smokes from 7:30 in the morning till like 12 at night. He made his screen room into like, I don't know what you call it, a resort room, living room. He's out there all the time, but that's fine if he smokes, but I wish he could smoke in either his garage or in the house because my mother and father both died of lung disease, and it's going through our vent on the side. And it's also going in, I can't open any windows because I never know, it's like, you know, a big issue, and I wish he would, I don't know if we can put a stockade fence to block it out or something, because I have lung issues, I have glaucoma, I don't want all that smoke. I sit in front of my TV, everywhere I go, the ceiling has a vent. For some reason, it comes in from the attic and it goes into my house because it's like, it's very thick. And I'll be sitting there, I'll go right in my face. And it's cigar smoke, which is really bad, and my lungs seem to burn. I wake up at 2 in the morning, it's a problem. And if he can not sit out there all night and expose all this smoke, and it comes, we're only like, our lot is like 8 feet and there's his screen room, so. What can we do about this?
We can't do anything. That's,
We have a
we
sign up.
can't control what someone does in their house.
It's not their house though, it's a screen room, no windows, it's no windows on it. And what it's doing is, it's fine if you keep your smoke on your own side, he can put something out, but it's wafering into our house and it's trespassing and it's a violation, actually. Yes, it is.
Let me say something. You have a sign outside that says no smoking within 25 feet. Or 25 feet or whatever of clubhouse. Why isn't there something that we could do? Well, you're not saying the man can't smoke. Go in your house. Go in your house and smoke your house up. I have problems breathing. I go to work at 5 o'clock in the morning. I can't do that. And so I'm just asking for some help, what we could do. Can we send him a letter? Do we have to take him to court?
Have you talked to him?
You can't talk to him. He walks
He
away.
starts laughing and he smokes more. He's a chain smoker.
You know, we can put 25 feet or 15 feet of this door because we own that property.
I own my property too.
But you can tell him you may not smoke within 8 feet of our house, which is your property. But you're talking about him smoking on his property. And I know, but we can't say, well, only smoke when the wind's blowing a different way, or we just can't do it. Believe me, I feel for you. I've been in that situation, but there is nothing we as Timber Oaks can do about that. And we can't tell him to smoke in his house. It's his property.
See, this is the thing I'm saying. We bought that house 10 years ago, and I made sure that there's no, people that smoke. I don't want all that in my vents and all that. But now I'm getting it in the vents from him. And especially with COVID and everything else going on, with respiratory diseases. My father died of lung cancer. It's a terrible death. And my mother died of another lung disease. And I have glaucoma. I don't want that in my eyes. And my lungs are sensitive because I get bronchitis pneumonia. So I'm just wondering, could we put up like they're saying online, that you could put up a 6-foot fence that's solid to block whatever's coming this way. And then, maybe I could do something that way.
The only fences that are allowed according to our ARC, if you live in Driftwood, fences are allowed. If you live in Timber Oaks, Fences are not allowed unless they were there when you bought your property and they're grandfathered in.
Okay, and with the screen room, are you allowed to put a TV and all that? And have
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah, it's like
It's
another
not-
room to
it
your
doesn't have
house.
windows in it.
Part of your house.
Yeah.
Well, when I was in my screen room, the guy in the back started yelling at me at 9 o'clock that I shouldn't be in there making noise. So he's in the wrong then?
He's in the wrong.
Okay, so how late can you make noise in your screen room? 10 o'clock, is that's the law?
Wait, that would be a county ordinance, that wouldn't be us.
Well, I'm
County
saying it's
law
probably
is
eight
11
to
o'clock. It's 7:30 in the morning till 11.
I thought it was 8 to 10.
You might want to come tonight and talk to the sheriff's office.
Yeah, I know. I
Yeah, but if you call the sheriff, they won't come out.
Say by the time the sheriff, well, he
You
said.
know, if you call the sheriff at 11 o'clock, he won't show up maybe till 3 o'clock, so what's the sense?
Yeah.
That's what we're gonna have to do.
That's what I'm thinking. It's ruining our quality of life, and I know they're not gonna do it, but I know that there are rules that.
We don't have authority to do any of that.
No.
You know, that's a person's private property, and they can smoke on their property.
Right, but it's considered
You
trespassing.
can't stop your neighbor from smoking.
You can if he smokes all day and
No,
all
you
night.
can't. We're a homeowners association. We can only, the most we can do is fine somebody $50 a day.
Yeah, I know.
If it goes down and we have certain rules to get to that. We can only enforce our rules like that. Smoking is not. So the only possibility we have is either a civil lawsuit,
Right,
that's a very expensive,
yeah.
or
But
you go
there's
to the
lawyers
county,
that
or
will
you
do
go to
it.
the county if they've got some.
Yeah.
You can't do anything.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, because I was kicked out of my screen room, I'm just wondering, so you can be in there and they can't do nothing, because they complain at me, go in the house, let the guy. You know, and stuff like that. Okay.
Okay,
Thank you all for
go home
coming.
and enjoy the rest of your day.